And now a retelling of the movie The Thinning. Don't forget to subscribe. Enjoy the movie.
It's time to go.
The movie begins in the year 2039 when the Earth is overpopulated. The human race is on the verge of extinction. The United Nations organization declares that all nations must reduce their population by 5% every year. Following this order, the United States adopts a program called Dropout. The idea is that students must take a standardized test every year. Those who fail the test are executed by injecting them with special drugs. Lena Michaels is tutoring a high school student named Simon. The kid seems to have trouble solving equations, so he asks Lena for something. She pulls out a box of lenses and holds them out to him. Once Simon puts them on, he can solve all the math problems. Elsewhere, we are introduced to Edward Blake, son of Texas Governor Dean Reading. He runs away from home at night and meets his girlfriend Ellie Harper in his car. Blake starts talking about a test that will take place the next day. Ellie is very nervous about it, but Blake assures her that she will pass. At that moment, Blake's father's security guard finds them and brings Blake back to Dean's office. Dean is disappointed that Blake slipped away the night before such an important test. He thinks Ellie is distracting Blake. The next day is test day. Many students are lined up outside the school. They have to go through a thorough security check before entering. Blake asks Lena for one of her study lenses, but she doesn't have one. Lena and her friend, Kel, stand in line to get in. One of the students had cheat sheets written on his hands. When he is caught, he tries to run away, but the guards grab him. No one has ever been able to avoid an exam. At school, Blake and Ellie hug one last time before entering the exam room, and soon the exam begins. They have 2 hours to complete the test. Everyone starts solving the problems on their tablets. Lena solves them all without a problem and finishes first. Her friend Kel, on the other hand, seems to be having trouble. When the exam is over, they get their results right away. The teacher in the class calls out a few names who didn't pass the exam. The students are concerned and hope it will be over soon. Those who failed the exam are taken away by security. They cry, resist, and some even try to run away. The guards beat the resisting students. Fortunately, Lena, Kel, and Blake pass the exam. However, at the last minute, the teacher calls Blake's girlfriend Ellie, so the guards take her away. Blake quickly calls his father and asks for Ellie's help. However, his father doesn't want to help since the law is the same for everyone. Frustrated, Blake runs to rescue her himself. He attacks the guards and yells at Ellie to run away, but to no avail. No one can escape. Blake keeps trying to help Ellie, but there's nothing else he can do. It's been a year. In 24 hours, the next test will begin. It is the very first elimination in the life of Lena's younger sister, Corinne. Lena's teacher, Ms. Birch, who has been caring for Lena and Corinne as her own children since their mother's death, has arrived. She tries to reassure Lena because Corinne has her first test tomorrow and Lena is worried about her sister. The teacher assures them that everything will be fine. Meanwhile, Blake is recording a video in his room. He wants to write all the wrong answers on the test to teach his dad a lesson. And so test day arrives. Lena takes Corinne to the kindergarten. There, the children are shown a cartoon about the current state of the planet, which explains why all nations must reduce their populations by 5% each year. In some countries, couples are only allowed to have one child, while others have executed the older generation. In America, however, the government has decided to keep only the smartest and execute the rest. These children are no exception. Then the children's test begins, and their teacher is saddened that some children will be executed. Luckily, Corinne passes the test. Lena and Kellen are also going to school for a test. The test begins and ends in short order. Meanwhile, Governor Dean finds Blake's tape and becomes agitated. He calls the testing manager, Mason King, and orders him to let Blake through regardless of his score. Mason reverses Blake and Lena's results, causing Lena to fail the test. The test results are announced, and to everyone's surprise, Lena's name is called. She failed the test. Ms. Birch stops the guard as they take her away, claiming that she is her best student and that there must have been a mistake, but the results are final and cannot be changed. She secretly hands Lena the key so she can unlock the doors and escape. Blake, in turn, is surprised that he didn't fail the test. The students who passed the test arrive at a school party to celebrate their results. Elsewhere, Dean gives a speech as governor and announces his run for president of the United States. He brags about his education system. Because of it, they managed to be the best in education among 196 countries. countries. The crime rate is down 26%. Blake listens to his father's speech at the party and then escapes. He sneaks into the hallway and knocks out one of the guards. He then goes to the control room. Meanwhile, Lena and the students who didn't make the cut are brought into a room and put up against a wall. They are forced to take off all their clothes to sanitize them. Lena and the others are then taken to a room where the guards are about to execute them by lethal injection. Suddenly, Blake cuts the power and the whole school is plunged into darkness. Taking this chance, the students who are about to be executed are freed and try to escape, but none of them succeed except Lena, who uses the key given to her by her teacher. Soon after, Mason enters the room and asks for a head count. They see that Lena is missing and start looking for her. Blake finds Lena and helps her beat up one of the guards. As they talk, they realize that something has been done to their test results. They both sneak through the vents and hide, then follow the network cables to go to the server room where they can view the results through the computer. Meanwhile, the school is still closed due to a power outage. This news is being broadcast across the state and parents outside are worried. Governor Dean calls Mason to ask him about the situation. Meanwhile, the vent under Blake breaks and he falls into the pool below. Lena jumps in after him. She pulls him out of the water, but he's not breathing. Lena gives him CPR and somehow she manages to save him. They change into the clothes they find in the lockers and continue their journey through the vents. Soon they reach the server room, but there is a guard standing in front of the door. Also, Lena's key falls into the vent in front of the guard. Her plan is to go to the science lab and get the necessary tools to use a rope and magnet to get the key through the vent. They head to the lab. However, there they accidentally make a noise, causing a guard to approach the lab. They try to run away. Lena manages to get back to the vent, but Blake gets stuck hiding in the lab. Lena hooks the key and manages to get it halfway up, just as suddenly one of the guards catches it. But we soon realize it's Blake masquerading as a guard. He beats up the guard and puts on his clothes. Soon the guard they attacked earlier tells Mason about them. He says that Lena had a key with her. Mason gathers all the teachers together, suspecting that someone gave the students her key. When Ms. Birch is in the room with the other teachers, she flirts with another teacher and manages to take his key. Mason continues to check the teachers for their keys and identification. Ms. Birch saves herself by showing them someone else's key. Since the other teacher doesn't turn out to have the key, Mason threatens and beats him, demanding to know where Lena is, despite the man's excuse that he doesn't know anything. Finally, Lena gets to the server room. She opens the computer with a key, but Mason has password protected it. She texts Kel, who knows how to hack into systems, to grant her access. A short time later, Kel receives Lena's message. He helps her log into the system. Lena then searches for her results and discovers that she scored 98% but still failed, while Blake got 15% and passed. She does further research and discovers that Ellie a year ago also scored 88% and failed, while others passed with lower scores. Lena realizes the grading system is rigged. Lena sends Kel a file with the fake grades, but soon the power comes back on and Mason sees that she is in the server room. Lena realizes this and runs away, but Mason catches her almost immediately. Blake is still in hiding at this time. He is with the students who failed the test. He orders the guard to take them to the recreation hall with the other students, but the guard refuses, so they get into a fight. The guards hold him down and find out his identity. At this point, Kel receives a message from Lena and is surprised to see the rigged results. Kel is friends with the news anchor, so he quickly emails it to the news channel. The news instantly goes viral. After the photos are leaked, the governor gets a call from the head of the party threatening to withdraw his presidential candidacy. Unwilling to let this happen, Dean Reading drops all charges against Mason and pretends he is innocent. He's trying to prove it, so he has no choice but to execute everyone who actually failed the exam, including his own son. At the school, Mason and the guards take Lena to the dropout room to execute her and the others. Blake is there as well. Mason calls Dean and asks if they should execute the students. Dean wants the students who actually failed the test executed, including his son. The guards release Lena and the other students who passed the dropout. Lena kisses Blake, but the guards take him and the others away. They execute them by injecting them. When the isolation ends, Lena is reunited with her younger sister Corinne and Ms. Birch. Hours later, we see the unconscious students being taken underground in an elevator. The students begin to move and we realize that the drug they were injected with was a sleeping pill. The elevator stops when they reach a place that looks like a factory. It's filled with goods manufactured by the technology company Azure Global. There are a lot of people working in the factory. At this point, Blake is surprised to notice that one of them is his girlfriend Ellie. This indicates that the students who are to be executed are actually locked underground under the ground to work as slaves for a multimillion-dollar company. This was all planned by the government as a strategy to get free labor. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and put likes so you don't miss other interesting retellings. Thanks for watching.